What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. So today I'm going to be taking the sand out of my 75-gallon reef tank and preparing to replace it with a different type of sand. So I want to go over with you guys the sand that's in here now, what I'm going to be swapping over to, how I prepare to do this, and exactly how I do it without having any issues. I have done this in the past, and I was 100% successful with, no issues, no diatoms, no cyano, no crazy algae blooms or anything like that. So let's go over the sand. It's the Caribsea Fiji Pink. I am going to be going to swap it out with the Caribsea Reef Sand. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to grow out some corals on the sand bed. And with a larger diameter sand, I think it's going to be easier for the corals to encrust to it and spread out. So that's the main reason I'm changing it out. Now, how I prepare is easy. I get all the coral off the sand bed, put them on frag racks temporarily if I have any on the sand bed. I do have this toadstool that I'm just going to lift up and put on the rock, and I got to take out this little frag rack here and just put it on the rock as well temporarily. Now, what I will do is I will do this over time. It's a 75-gallon tank. The whole system is 77 gallons. So what I do is once a week I'm doing a 10-gallon / water change / sand sucking. So what I will do is I will make 10 gallons of salt water. And then what I will do is suck out 10 gallons of sand and water combo, right? So here's how I do it. I'm using a hose and the end of an old return nozzle. The reason I like to use this is as I'm sucking the sand out, I'm not going to be worried about getting an old, hermit crab shell or something stuck in the hose and ruining the whole flow and trying to get it out. So I use this because it's nice and thin, and I can literally put it against the bottom of the tank and vacuum it out real nice. Also, I have a clip here so that as you're doing it, if you're doing it by yourself, you don't want this to accidentally pop out and have water and sand all over the place. So once I fill 2 5-gallon buckets, I do have a line. Once I get sand and water in here, I will dump out the water and then dump out the sand in a separate container. Wash it out so that it's empty again, and I will do the same thing. Suck out sand and water until it hits the 5-gallon mark. So I have a total of 10 gallons worth of sand and water. Now, in the past, I've had no issues with adding just 10 gallons of water only. If you want to, you can make yourself an extra 2 gallons of water, just in case you think that, hey, sand and water is not the same, square cubic foot or volume, I guess you could say, as just 10 gallons of water. So it's totally up to you. I've never had that issue in the past. I don't know if that's pure luck or if the math is correct, but that's how I do it. And also, when you're taking out sand, it is very, very extremely important to add beneficial bacteria to your tank when you add the new water in there. When you're taking the sand out, there's a lot of bacteria on it. A lot of good and bad, mostly good. So when you take that out, you have to replace it. Now, I use the Aquavitro Seed, and you can also use the Seachem Stability. It's the same exact ingredients. I believe it's just a different concentration, but I use both. It's pretty much whatever I have on hand. The Aquavitro Seed is becoming more difficult for me to get at my LFS, so if I can't find it, I go with the Stability, and it's the same thing. I have no issues. So I'm going to do this once a week until all the sand is out. I'll probably give it a week with just the bare bottom tank, and then rinse the new sand in a 5-gallon bucket, get all the dust and particles out of it, soak it in RO water, add some Seachem Prime to it to get any of that, chlorine and chloramines out that's stuck to the sand, and then I literally will just add it all back to the tank again all at once. Again, I have no issues doing that. So, I will take out the sand weekly until it's all gone, and then wait a week and add the sand all at once. So what I'm going to do is go over here for a couple weeks, take the sand out, we'll see how it looks real quick, bare bottom, and then I'll add the new sand to it. Alright, so here's a quick look before the third siphoning that I'm going to be doing. Put a turkey baster and just tried to clean out underneath as best I can. I will do a really heavy cleaning under the rocks before I get the last bit of the sand. But this is what it's looking like at the moment. Alright, so the sand is in, everything's done. I ended up using 2 20-pound bags and 1 10-pound bag of the Caribsea Reef Sand. Corals are all happy, fish are all happy. The water is crystal clear. I think that's because I really rinsed the sand, and since it was a bigger grain, it was definitely easier to clean. So with the 50 pounds of sand in this tank with this rock work, it ended up being about an inch tall max. Some spots are even a little bit lower, and that's one of the things I was aiming for. Is I wanted to create I guess taller caves underneath the rocks for just a little bit more water flow to go in, you know, underneath from front to back and side to side. The last sand bed was about 1.25 inches at the lowest points. Some spots did get a little bit higher from, you know, hitting it with the turkey baster and then, you know, the water flow pushing it around. So I'm definitely happy with how everything turned out. It's time to get some coral and let it grow out on the sand. I ended up removing these 2 favias from those 2 spots there. They were literally trying to kill the mushrooms. So got to find a spot for all these coral, but I already have those spots picked out, so that's what I'm going to do next. So hope you enjoyed the video, everybody, and I will see you guys on the next one.
Alright, I just want to thank you guys again for stopping by. If you did like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and while you're here, hit that little crab icon to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell for any future videos or updates, and in case you haven't seen these 2 videos, you might want to click on one and check it out. Again, thanks for stopping by.